Welcome back to another legal conversation where we learn something from our celebrities from the law. And today, my assistants to help me with the lessons on Zambia having a dual legal system and specifically how it relates to marriage is Tiana, Chilewan, and his new fiance. Yeah, so let's get into it. So Zambia has a dual legal system. What this means is that in Zambia, we have two systems of law that run side by side. We have the statutory law and we also have customary law. Statutory law is what you always hear, Kapwat, chapter what of the laws of Zambia, your constitution, marriage act. It's based in English common law. And then we have another one which is customary, which is steeped in our traditions, and because we have such a broad and beautiful diversity in our ethnicity, all those traditions were preserved and these two systems run side by side. So how can you identify whether or not you're dealing with the statutory or the customary law system? Let's take, for instance, the situation of land. When you're buying land, one of the first questions that you ask is this land on title? Okay? If the land is on title, then you know that it's under statute. But if it doesn't have title, but you still own it, you have letters from the chief and what, that one is customary. We've heard about how in Chongwe land can be sold, they don't allow what. That is customary land. I hope that is clear. So customary law provides for succession, how property will be held, how property will be distributed upon death or at the dissolution of a marriage. It provides for, it's a whole legal system on its own, okay? But what is important to note is that when this customary law comes into conflict with statute supersedes, and there are times when these two laws can overlap, especially when we're talking about marriage, when we're talking about property as well, as I have explained. So now let's talk a bit about Tiana and Chile one, okay? And the reason why we decided to use this one as a lesson. So I don't know if it's months or years ago, there was, according to social media reports, Chile one, and well, it was a social media trend where people were clapping each other's memories, and Chile one and Tiana did that, and Simon Mwewa said that, he's not serious and he will not marry you. And Tiana responded to Mr. Mwewa saying that, he's my fiance and he's soon to be my husband. Okay? By implication, not that that's what she meant, but by implication, there's a sense in which a lot of people feel like once a man has engaged a woman, it's equivalent to marriage. And under Zambian law, as you know, Kobekela Techupo. That's the Bemba saying for marriage. An engagement is not marriage. It's just an intention for marriage. And so, as you have seen in social media, you have seen it play out today. Chile one has gone on to engage another woman, and they have a Chilanga Molilo. So for a marriage to be valid in Zambia, whether as a customary marriage or as a statutory marriage, there's certain rights that need to be fulfilled. Like under custom, you take utubale, you pay the dowry, and then you can wrap that up with a wedding or a chombelanganda, where they cover the bride with a chitenge and they bring her to the groom's home. And then under statute, we see that for a marriage to be statutorily correct, it also has legal requirements. You go to the city council, you sign Form C. When you sign Form C, then the marriage is solemnized. And before the solemnization of that marriage, you will find that there is no marriage. This is why without the solemnization, you can say there is no marriage. After solemnization, there needs to be physical intimacy, and that's when the marriage is said to be a marriage. So you don't put the cart before the horse. You always put the horse ahead, then the cart. Slapping under the statute, that's how it works. We've had situations where people come and say, no, we went to the church the church gave us a certificate. This is our marriage certificate. And then now us, we're stuck because that is not it's not recognized if it was not done under the Lusaka City Council, where the right procedures were followed. Okay, while the church can solemnize the marriage, they too have to come under the law to be legally given the authority to solemnize the marriage. I hope that is helpful, and understand also that when you dissolve a marriage and also the courts you go to, that's an important one. When a customary marriage has an issue, you go to the local court. But when you're married under statute, you go to the high court. But if you find that custom wasn't properly applied in the local court, or you can see that it is repugnant to natural justice or human rights, appeal lies to now the subordinate courts, the high court, and things like that as you progress. So when you get a marriage proposal, be sure which type of marriage you want to get into. Under statute, polygamy is not allowed. So if you marry, you go to the council, there's no polygamy. You're saying, I will just have one wife, I will have one husband. While in other different traditions, you can find that, like the Southern Province, if you're married under statute, you can have multiple wives and no one is calling you for bigamy, because in that tradition, there is no bigamy. Bigamy is under statute. Yeah? But that is that about marriage.